because you need it. And all of a sudden, oh yeah, I kind of applied that. That kind of works. Yeah, I didn't. That wasn't just my epiphany. Like I'm all knowing, and we don't recognize that in these conversations that we're developing. These conversations that need to be. That's why the next dispensation of as I'm rebuilding or rebranding this platform is about the comeback conversations. Because sometimes we have to come back to ourselves. That's the main thing. So the whole thematic part of why the shifting and stuff, the comeback is about coming back to self. How do we come back to self? Why do we come back to that essence, that subconscious state where we know that everything is all possible? Not getting out to the box. Yes, Dr. Shaw. So let's get into this quick teaching. It won't take too long. I'll probably do most of the reading. And just recognize this as a whole. Okay, where are you at? Okay, there we go. Always ask future Dr. Nicole Johnson, can you see my screen?
I think I receive it, and yes.
How to message you. Alpha presence, owning the atmosphere you're carrying. So you can see my diatribe just now was leading into this. As we deal with chapter 3, part 1 of chapter 3, and one of the affirmations that have come out of the book, affirmation number 25. Atmosphere, authority, and authentic voice. Your energy is your evangelism. The atmosphere you carry speaks volumes before words are exchanged. Your presence is a testament to your inner world. You can't walk into a room playing small. You have to be in a space where you are powerful in your own space so people can respect what it is that's coming out of your mouth. React or regulate. Either conform to the atmospheres around you or transform them with intentional presence. Transformation always begins within you. If you can't transform you, you're not going to transform anyone outside of you. Your prominent presence. True authority anchors rooms without seeking validation. Your steadiness creates safety for others. Can people look to you not only just as being an authority figure, but can people look to you and say, because you're here, we know that certain things are flowing right. I know at times when myself and Dr. Cheryl, and with her being a leader at most times, when they see us in certain spaces, like, oh, okay, we see the things because we're not going to let you see us sweat. We're prominent in our presence. And it leads us to set in the climate. The spiritual atmosphere you establish precedes your words. Your being speaks before your doing. Someone runs into a room or moves into a room like, things is helter skelter, then everyone else is going to start to feel that same energy. But if you walk in there calm, regardless of things may not be working out the way they need to be working out, but if you can keep that atmosphere of your calm, you'd be surprised what you can do and what you can manifest through. The engaged process, your presence speaks. The scriptural foundations, we start with Isaiah chapter 26 and verse number 3. You will keep in perfect peace those whose minds are steadfast because they trust in you. And since that was from the Old Testament, now we're going to go to the New in Luke chapter 4 and verse number 36. What's going on? All these people were amazed and said to each other, what words these are! What authority and power he gives orders to impure spirits, and they come out. It's just recognizing, the power of what Jesus had as he navigated the world, and, people were astonished. And these are some of the reflection questions that you can think about. What do people feel when you enter a space? You can answer that. Who do you become in a chaotic room? You get caught up in the chaos, or you recognize that you're there to bring the atmosphere down to a level where it's workable. And how does your presence affect the atmosphere? So these are definitely reflection questions that allow you to become much more cemented and empowered as you flow. You set the tone. Quiet power over performance. True presence isn't about being the loudest voice, but carrying the most impactful energy. Your stillness speaks volumes in a noisy world. Number two, mature leaders stabilize. Leadership maturity is measured by your ability to maintain composure when everything around you is in chaos. You become the eye of the storm. And any of us who's ever experienced a hurricane, you always know the calmest part of a hurricane is in the middle. That eternal stillness. Jesus calmed external storms because he was internally anchored. His peace wasn't dependent on circumstances, but on connection to the Father. And the thought that I would leave you from this particular slide is, are you a thermometer measuring the temperature, or a thermostat? Are you setting it? I'll read that again. Are you a thermometer that's measuring the temperature, or a thermostat, which means you're setting it? And you can truly look within yourself to see, which one are you? You set the temp. Do you set the tone, or are you the one that goes up and down and gets flustered? You can be the one that truly can express that and thoroughly and honestly for your respective self. Affirmation 25. I carry peace, power, and prominent presence. And Philippians chapter 4, verse number 7 states, and the peace of God, which transcends all understanding, will guard your hearts and your minds in Christ Jesus. As Paul was writing to the Philippians there. No, the people of Philippi, let's say it correctly. He was talking to the people of Philippi as he shared that. And of course, we're going to give you a nice First Testament or Old Testament nugget from Proverbs 18, verse number 21. The tongue has the power of life and death. Those who love it will eat its fruit. So mind you, the tongue is not saying tongue, the tongue has the power. Now, what do you choose to do with it? And what's the prominent tone of your presence? Because that prominent tone is going to be the thing that's going to lead even before you open up your mouth. If you're moving in nervousness, that means that's what you're going to generate. That's what you're going to attract towards yourself. But if you're moving your power, now, exactly, you're going to be powerful. Embodiment. The atmosphere audit. Define your presence. Describe your current presence in exactly 3 words, then identify 3 words that represent your desired presence. So you think about that as you make those audits within yourself. There's a practice that you can potentially utilize. Breathwork practice. Inhale peace deeply for 4 counts. Hold for 4 counts. Exhale the pressure and tension for 8 counts. You're going to repeat this 3 times. Very simple. So if you know you're in those spaces and times where you're doing meditation, or you know that you may have to speak to someone, or you're going into a business conference, a consultation, a communication, allow yourself to get centered. Allow yourself to be relaxed. Don't go in there anxious, because there's nothing to be anxious over. Nothing. And the powerful declaration simply states, stand tall, shoulders back, and declare with conviction, I am an anchor, not a reactor. I set the atmosphere wherever I go. Now I'm going to say that again. Stand tall, that means you're erect. Shoulders back and declare with conviction, I am an anchor, not a reactor. I set the atmosphere wherever I go. Make sure that you're setting the proper atmosphere wherever your feet touch and wherever you decide and desire to move through. Reflection prompt. Some of these are some journaling insight questions that you can utilize for yourself. Where do I naturally bring peace into situations without trying? In which environments or with which people am I most easily provoked? What does prominent presence look like in my workplace, home, and community in this particular week? And this is a sentence that you should be able to complete for yourself. When I lead in stillness, I create, and I left those dots there because you have to add that. I know what Dr. Gregory Clarke may have. But you as an individual, when you recognize that you're leading from that space of, and stillness is not soft. Stillness is not minimizing. Stillness is recognizing, I know my power. Before I react, be in those spaces of reaction, I'm going to confidently respond. And usually the first response, if it's just based on emotion, doesn't necessarily work. Have the ability to think. Real world application. Regulate, don't react. Be the peace holder. Every tense meeting, difficult conversation, and chaotic environment needs someone who refuses to be pulled into the vortex of anxiety. Position yourself as that stabilizing force. Bring calm into tension. Practice walking into tense situations with intentional breathing and a centered mind. Your non-anxious presence will naturally diffuse conflict and create space for resolution. I'm going to come to you in a couple of seconds, Dr. Cheryl. Confidence through listening. True confidence is demonstrated not in how much you speak, but in how deeply you listen and how steady your breathing remains when challenged. And the question that relates to this overall space, where do you need to show up differently this week? And with that, we'll take a minor pause as we allow Dr. Cheryl to take the floor.
Thank you, Dr. Clark. I just wanted just to make notion here because you said it a couple of times, but I do want to just say something. Anxiety is a real thing, so I do want to just mention that the general anxiety is a real thing, and the techniques of you said don't be anxious for anything, but I do believe that you need to look at who you are in the space. And as you are noticing your body to have more of an emotional regulation of understanding who you are, if it persists, you need to go and speak to someone. Learning these techniques will ground you, but you also need to, there's some things in the space that there's also people like yourself or whoever, coaches or therapists that be able to see what is actually going on in your body. My thing is listen to your body, and I'm complete.
Thank you for that. Appreciate that. Now, this is group sharing, which we won't necessarily do, even though I love the picture on the side. But this week, I will carry. Complete this sentence with one word or phrase that represents the atmosphere you commit to bring into your environments. So who wants to take that question? Who wants to take that sentence and complete that sentence with either one word or phrase? This week, I will carry. Who would like to open up their mic and complete that sentence from their own perspective?
I'll give it a try. I will carry patience
Hmm.
because sometimes it's not really a problem, it's just someone wanting to be heard. So
Hmm.
applying patience can reset the atmosphere. I'm complete.
Excellent. Okay, the next sentence. I am releasing. Name what you're letting go of: stress, overexertion, people pleasing, anxiety, the need to control outcomes. Who would like to finish out that sentence from their perspective? I am releasing. Who would like to take that on?
I can take it on.
Go ahead, Mr. Davis.
Um, as you just said, stress and the feeling of complacent, just stress of not just a certain thing, but life in general.
Hmm. So where
Yeah.
where is it that you feel that's happening that
It's the feeling of having more than one thing on your table, more than five things on your table, and more than eight is sometimes it get overwhelming.
okay. Okay. Because the only reason why I'm asking you about giving a further explanation, because as we articulate it and we make it as a not so much a declaration to, it's about acknowledging and allowing ourselves to hear it. Sometimes we can hear stuff within ourselves and we stay more sensitive within ourselves and not recognize when we have the ability to articulate that we are moving more powerfully and much more confidently in our respective spaces. So that's excellent. That's excellent. And the last one for this particular slide is I am embodying. Declare what you're stepping into: peace, confident posture, prominent presence, spiritual authority, calm assurance. Who wants to take on that, completing that sentence? I am embodying. Who would like to take that one? Come on, somebody must desire to embody something in their life. Because you can
Okay,
always hear,
I'll do it.
go ahead.
I am embodying confidence, kind of piggybacking off a lesson that Dr. Cheryl taught in her recent webinar.
Mhm.
You have to walk in it. You can't just assume, okay, it's going to work out because I'm good. No, walk in with that presence, with that confidence, with that control so that people can feed off of your energy. And back to our topic, we're shifting the atmosphere, hopefully for the positive. I'm complete.
Excellent, excellent. That was wonderful. Hand claps, hand claps. That was wonderful. And each and every one of you, this is stuff that you can do for yourself because the greatest testament and the greatest person that you're ever going to speak to is to you. There have been times that Dr. Cheryl would laugh at me and it's like, it seems like you're talking to yourself. I say, yeah, I am. I am. Remember that as a child. I would sit there and sometimes be having, not just having first or second person conversations, but yeah, I'm talking to myself. Talk, I believe I can do it. I think I can do it. I believe I can do it. Like talking to yourself, say, yeah. And you'll be surprised how that self-talk, along with what you're holding in your subconscious state, is actually going to help you as you move along. So when sometimes people say, "Oh, I don't talk to myself," that sounds crazy. So okay, that's kind of weird. Because if you're not talking to yourself, who is? Because you may expect your partner in life, you may expect your family member, you may expect all these things outside of you to be talking to you. Do you talk to you? Really talk to you? And that's probably a whole teaching on another day. But do you really talk to you? And the final charge and collective decree, as we bring the scripture from the New Testament, from one that he so loved, John chapter 14, verse 27. Peace I leave with you. My peace I give you. I do not give it to you as the world gives. Do not let your hearts be troubled, and do not be afraid. And I will say each one of these decrees, and then I'll give you a pausing space. Not that you have to say it out loud, but I would say it in your own space as you're watching this. I carry peace, power, and prominent presence. I lead from stillness, not from striving. My atmosphere is safe, stable, and spirit led. My energy preaches before I speak. And as you can see, we are complete. We are complete. Any takeaways, any thoughts as we start to bring this to a wrap up, to a close? Dr. Cheryl, you have any thoughts? As the young
I
lady,
do. That last slide was so good. Um, maybe we'll go back and just take a picture of it, or I know you do the replay, but I do think like a mantra and that thing at the end, something that stood out to me, the stillness. I'm not sure the last one what it said, the stillness, something about the stillness.
it was on the screen.
Oh, I leave from stillness and not striving. I think that that is so good because sometimes we could be always in the grind and always trying to strive. And it's in the stillness that you get to hear where the last part where you said the atmosphere of safety, stability. And some of us may not be in this economy. They may feel as though even their environment may not be safe or stable. So I see a lot of people, and when you look at that, and when you embodying the Holy Spirit and understanding where I really have to really, really, really be anchored in the Lord. And thank you for that. I like this last slide. Thank you.
Amen. You're welcome. Anybody else? Any other thoughts?
Yes, yes.
Go ahead, Mr. William Richards.
Yeah, Dr. Clark, when I look at this, are you the eye of the storm? You know, it's like whenever you have a hurricane, like you always have the eye where there's a stillness for about 1 hour. And that 1 hour, you always go outside and assess your damages, place in place, put in place. Let's say, for instance, if anything was missing, you know, around the house, clear up the debris. But within an hour, you have to get back inside. But when you're in the eye of a storm, there's stillness. And that's, you have it like my atmosphere is safe, stable, and spirit led. I would add that to it. I'm complete.
Excellent, excellent. Thank you for that, share. Anyone else? Any other?
Yeah, like I put in the chat, the second point, I lead from stillness, not from striving, is a great way to recenter how I approach everything. So that was really helpful. I'm complete.
Excellent, excellent, excellent. Anyone else before I close this slide? Give you an ample opportunity to have your voice in the matter. Excellent. Well, oh, Miss Franklin's coming back in. And as we said, these are the type of conversations we're going to continue on and continue to develop and continue to push this community to be even greater, to be even more expansive. And once again, for those that may not be necessarily following Dr. Cheryl Clarke, I implore you to do so. Same way, if you follow me, follow her. Because not only do we have great nuggets together, we have great nuggets separately. And as we continue to allow ourselves to stay empowered, start to recognize the impact that can potentially be had. I see Dr. Cheryl Clark had a hand up.
Yes. So just so I'm clear, the comeback conversations is going to be people having conversations in the space about certain topics from week to week. Is that what this new platform is about?
Yes.
Okay. So it's not going to be like this. It's not going to be like a teaching. You're just going to have like
Well,
a top.
there'll be some teaching, but it's more or less about generating conversations.
Okay.
Start coming back to ourselves. We start coming back. I mean, I have not only this Alpha Confidence book, but I have another book that is almost prepared for publishing that will come out shortly, dealing with the dignified mind. So there's things that's coming down the pipe for us to get in those mindset conversations that will help us to enhance what we're doing. And on top of that, there'll be some, current events sprinkled in so we can, we're gonna have some relevant conversations that more well-rounded. It's not gonna just be so rigid to say, oh, there's a teaching like per se, but sometimes it may morph in. We may start off as it's supposed to be a teachable moment, and then all of a sudden sparks a conversation, and then someone else jumps in, and now we're building on that thought, and next you know that thought can be end up being the conversation. So it's not something where I have something wrapped in my mind that it's so in a box that there's no opportunity for possibility.
So only reason why I asked if people wanted to invite someone to it, you would let them know that they're going to be, Dr. Clark is going to have comeback conversations. So come with your stories, come with an open mind, come with these things because it's just not he's not just moderating, it's not a mono, it's a conversation about different topics.
Correct.
Thank you.
Welcome. You're very welcome. And once again, that will begin on Tuesday, September 9th. Let's see if I should have that ready to roll. So yes, it's the new logo. So if you start seeing this a lot on social media, this is the new logo. And this will begin on Tuesday, September 9th, my birthday, at 7:30 p.m. Started to recognize, respect people's time, and pushing it back a half an hour gives it more time. People have other things that they're doing as well, and we start to recognize that's a nice sweet spot that we could meet for an hour to 90 minutes, no more than that, and just build on those relevant conversations that we can have as a community. And it's not just pigeon-toed into one thing. It's not just faith-based. We may talk about things that may spark some controversy. That's good. Sometimes controversy is a good thing. Never run from controversy. Some of the greatest things or some of the greatest happenings that happen around us is based on controversy. So don't even look at controversy as a bad thing. But the thing about it is if we get so regulated or segmented in our mind that if we talk about a respective subject that seems to be taboo, that doesn't work either. What is taboo? What is that? That's based upon your own self-development of what you've been exposed to. You'd be surprised as we talk about the subject about difference between cursing and vulgarity. A lot of things that we think is cursing is not necessarily cursing. Now, are they vulgar and certain words shouldn't be shared in certain spaces, and it shows that you're just expressing yourself from a moment because that's the only thing that you grabbed on? Got you. But that's not necessarily a curse. The cursing, to me, is even worse because you can walk around and keep saying certain statements and wonder why your pathway is not becoming empowered. So definitely starting on Tuesday, September 9th at 7:30 p.m. I would advise you become a part of the private Facebook group, which is the same name that you see on the screen now. So if you're on Facebook, become a part of that group so you can be a part of those conversations. Anything really dealing with the virtual mankind cave, that will start to be dissipated and allow people the opportunity, if they wish to continue on with us and come back conversations. The invitation is open and endless. If they choose not to, we respect that as well. Because as they say, you can't take everyone with you, and you're not supposed to. You're supposed to find the people that you can grow and who can grow with you. And by finding those people, you start to recognize where your community is. So until we come back in about 2 weeks, I'll take it. Probably next Tuesday, I get to chase Dr. Cheryl around the house. So until next time,
Good night, Dr. Clarke.
on
Have a
Tuesday,
wonderful evening, everyone.
Tuesday, September at 7:30 p.m. I always got to throw some curveball. But no, all jokes aside, until in 2 weeks we'll see you, and we appreciate all you. We love all you. We thank you for your continued support. We thank you for being a part of the platform, and can't wait for us to move into these next elevated stages of where we're being well positioned. So peace and love, and see you in 2 weeks.
Night, everyone.
Enjoy. God bless.
All right.
Good night, everyone.
Good night.
Good night.
Be blessed.
Be blessed. Bless.